we're stronger, we're smarter, we're tougher than we were before, and we're going to get through this, and we're going to understand it, and it's going to be all good. There's a reason for this, and we have the toughness to bear through it. Now, an interesting thing, I took her through a couple of timeline sessions that really helped. Sessions that, because she keeps, her nose keeps, she can't breathe. And she went to some past lives where she was drowned. So these energies kept trying to pull her back to where she was drowning and she couldn't breathe, okay?
Yeah.
So time sessions can be really useful. Then she went to another one. I did another session with her, and she went to this place that was like the void, only she said it was just kind of this amazing, she couldn't hardly even describe it. But what she felt when she went there were her Summas, was her Summa. It's like getting your, and this is what I sent you that article on.
Yeah.
Her Summa is, and she has been different ever since then. It's like she has this thing inside of her, and she says, like, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to be okay. Your Summa is a part of your soul that inspires you, that is that you can actually talk to it. The way I explain it to people is to watch Golden Compass, and how they had animals as their as part of their soul. You know, they had their body, and then they had these little animals that were they called them their demons, which I don't know why they called them that. It just made everything, sound creepy. But these animals, they could talk to, and they could sort things out with them, and they would help them. It's just like knowing that there's somebody there with you all the time that's a little different than what's in your body. And it's your Summa. And your Summa can, like I say, it inspires you. It can protect you. It's like this, I'm trying to think of the word. It's like a muse.
A muse, not like a spirit animal in the shamanic work?
Who knows? When I watched that movie, I wanted one. I'm like, I want one of those animals. I just thought that would just be so cool to have one of these little animals. Well, they're kind of like that. You might see them as that in a psychic level. I don't know. Everybody's are different. I don't know. I just know that when
they're showing up. They're showing up now to support us through this.
And when you connect to your Summa, you go, ah. And it's warm, it's fuzzy, and it makes you feel wanted. All the things that have ever made you feel like you weren't wanted, those just go out the door. And every time you have felt alone, you don't feel alone anymore. Your Summa's there with you, which is a part of your soul, but it's like a part that we haven't connected to. It's like nobody knew they were out there until recently. And so, this information, I've only known about Summas maybe 6 months, and then I kind of forgot about them. And then when I started writing cryogenetics, it started coming in again. And so it's, all you have to do is have the intent, have your rock, get yourself in your egg. If you don't have a rock, egg yourself, and just, put your hands over your core and say, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to connect to my Summa, and just feel what happens. It's magical, and it's amazing. And these Summas you'll be able to talk to them and sort things out. Instead of these stupid voices in your head that tell you all sorts of crap about yourself, you can talk to your Summa and get real information and information that serves you instead of information that's going to bring you down.
Wow.
So, yeah, and that makes me thirsty. Hold on.
Okay. Well, wow. That's amazing information. So in terms of people now and getting in touch with you, and I know we're doing some joint sessions, and I would encourage people to come to Rise Multiversity and book either a single session with Laura Lee. Through her mentor page, you can get to her site with and the joints on Rise. So you can do it all through Rise now, risemultiversity.org. And so what could people expect from a session with you, Laura Lee? How's that for a generic question you could spend 10 years talking about? Well, considering the moment we're in, why would someone come to you, and what might they hope to achieve?
Well, if you're suicidal, definitely get a session. I've had several suicidal people contact me in the last couple of weeks. And there's more that actually there's more than that. Oh, there's been probably 8 people that I know that have been like really wanting to leave the planet. So if my sessions, I can help take you through a timeline session. Once you've had a couple of those under your belt, you can just take off and do them yourself. There will be instructions in the cryogenetics too that I'm working on that will have explicit instructions on how to do that. If you don't know what your contracts are here, a session would be good. I have people that I do implant removals and actual like body balancing. I've been doing a lot of that recently too, where if your back's out or you keep having headaches or your knees are hurting or whatever, I do a method called directional non-force chiropractic, and I can do it over the phone or over Skype or whatever. You don't have to be here. I don't have to. It's not a physical manipulation. I can do it
Right.
over the phone. And so it's like say if this is your spine and it's tweaked this way, I snap energy this way and put it back into place. And that's kind of how it works. It's anything that's out of balance, I snap energy and it goes back into place.
Yeah, I experienced that a few times with you. That was very helpful.
It's amazing, and it works like everybody that I've done it with has gotten, even if it's a little bit of help. Usually it's like 80, 90, 100%, but sometimes it's just a little help, and that is better than nothing. So, and those just take like 5 minutes. Those don't take long.
Well, from my experience, and you're also a Ghostbuster, right? You still do that, don't you?
Yeah.
People can call you who have ghosts and weird, happening of all sorts. And you're an expert at AI and removing all of that stuff.
Yeah. AI has been a real challenge. But you know what? I have the opinion that whatever they have, we got something better. It's like whatever they've got that's messing with us, we got something that is better than that.
Well, I experienced so many times energy got so thick, it was just horrific. And then we went into what we're calling the war room. And I'm not saying any of the details here, but you were doing some of the weirdest, that I've ever heard of. And your understanding of these maniacs and the kind of technologies they've created, because I think you've been doing this for like 20 years. So even though you just look like the sweetest lady with a wonderful sense of humor, is very humble, you are way, way advanced in the ability to remove this stuff. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. That's part of my camouflage. Everybody looks at me, it's like, Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
I know. You are habitually and you've needed to be. And bless your heart, what you've gone through to do what you've done is absolutely heroic. And I have great respect for you, for what you're doing invisibly, where nobody knows and no one probably will ever know, but it's helped all of us. So thank you for that,
Well,
and your
you're welcome.
team. So, the sessions, Laura Lee has very advanced superpowers. Don't let her kid you. If you're in deep doo-doo, book a joint session, book a private session with Laura Lee Mistycah. Do yourself a favor. This lady is for real. Your resistance won't like it. The crypto's inside of you, and your shove-ins are going to tell you that this is complete you know what, and never ever look at this channel again. But your soul knows what the truth is. So just sense into the energy, maybe watch it again, connect with yourself, follow your own knowing of who's going to help you and who, and I hope that more people do that, because it's such a crucial time, and there are so many charlatans out there, and there's so many people that do half jobs, and I can't trust a lot of what's out there, and a lot of it, from what people come to me who've been around the block, and they've certainly gotten relief and good healing, but it just hasn't really sustain them. They need more.
Right. And when you said that, let me just intersect something. If you go to a practitioner or a healer that takes something out and then just leaves you, that's not good. You have got to replace, you got a big hole there. You take an implant out or whatever, you got a hole there. If you don't fill that up, someone or something else is going to fill that up. And the best thing to fill up your holes with is your core star. It is your own authentic self to go into these holes where you take things out. And if I've seen people that have taken crap out, really thinking they were doing a good thing, they take all this crap out and then leave them. And they get worse because it's like you have it's like you cut a boil out and it's still raw and tender. And if you don't put salve on it and things that are going to heal it, it's just an open wound, and more stuff is going to come in. It's going to be a bigger boil.
And you have a number of helpers. I mean, these new ones sound great, but you have the body mechanics and the ABIs and stuff that you would think is just ridiculous. She kept laying this stuff on me, and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I got myself into now? And I do it, and it would clear the stuff. And I go,
I know.
that worked? That worked? It sounded completely crazy. So, that's why I'm here with her, because I spent 4 months with her, going through process after process after process. And that, worked. So I know it sounds crazy, but look at the world we're in. Kind of crazy, huh? So, of course, the solution would sound crazy in an insane world where everything's backwards. Oh, this is the most ridiculous thing. This could never be true. Well, guess what? But I would never, I never want people to believe or trust. We've all been burned. People are contacting me all the time. They've done so many things. Their trust level is 0. They're reaching out one last time, but that's about it. And because, they've tried again and again, really sincere, beautiful, super advanced indigos, and nothing's worked. Nothing's really worked. So we're looking at that. We're trying to create a full-on program at Rise Multiversity. It covers a lot of the bases. We're all different. We all have different chemistry. Some people will go to Laura Lee, and it's absolutely their medicine. Some people will come to me. Some people will go to, we're all Chris Keller. We're all different. And we're here to support you in the emergence of your own truth and your own authenticity. We know that some of you advanced indigos are more advanced than I am. I know that. I mean, I have a lot to learn from my students. They're incredible beings. And the processes that we do are self-help process that you can tape and share and spread and use yourself. And they're all to get you in touch with you. So, we can say this is working for us. You try it on. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, this is not a religion, okay? We are not here to indoctrinate you, but we do feel called to share our truth. And so that's just it. Even if we know that most people will think we've lost our minds.
No, I totally agree. What you're saying is awesome. And I'm the first to say one size doesn't fit all. There's not one method that's going to fix it for everybody. And there's not one practitioner that's going to fix it for everybody. You have to, do the smorgasbord thing. And
okay, I want to ask you, because even though we say that everyone can do this, and they will be able to eventually, some people seem to have more juice running through them, or source, I know, whatever you want to call it, connection to their superpowers. I know that even though, I was working with myself to clear things, your energy in the room, my energy in the room, Chris's energy in the room really helps until people get more back. And you're a powerful, powerful transformational catalyst, Laura-Lee. It's in the room with you. You're bringing energetics to support and to help, and people need to know that about you. So I'll be quiet now. Because you're never going to toot your own horn. That's obvious. And then people may not really understand who they're dealing with. Not that you've ever told me who you really are, but we're working on that. I love you endlessly. The ability to open up, I think find someone who is open and gets these kind of results and be in their presence and work with them, and it opens up in you too. I mean, that's how it works. If it's it can happen. Of course, we all have to move through our own shadows and our own resistance and our egos and our kundalinis and our astral bodies and our chakras. And
Stop right there. I have to say something here. What we are finding is that there's a lot of people that have more than one Kundalini snake.
Yes, Chris was noticing that. There are different ones now. They've manufactured new ones or something.
Yeah. Well, it's if you do the implant protocol on my website, you can get rid of them. But some people originally, I know one gal had 25. I only had 3. I thought that was kind of off the charts. People are getting, when you do that, make sure you get them all. When you say that, it's like all the snakes, all the eggs, all of the larvae, make sure you get
and they grow back. Yeah, the ones Chris Keller was saying, right the same week. I'm so lucky I have you and Chris Keller as personal friends, and we're all getting pounded, and I'm getting your information and his, and it's syncing up. It's totally syncing up with this Kundalini, because he found it was there's a variety that isn't in the spine. It'll just go wherever your weakness is and lower your vibration. Isn't that special? Yeah. And just when we think that we've cleared a lot, they're making new stuff all the time in this end game scenario. And you ladies, when you go into the war room, you're checking it out. And you're finding out what we can't sit on our laurels in this work. A technique that works 3 months ago may need to be upgraded. And so, yeah.
Well, and with the upgrades, the cryogenetics egg,
Yay.
It's constantly being upgraded. So, and I'm seeing new things that it does, and I'm like, holy crap, when did that happen? The new upgrades to the badass egg will be on in my next book. but just know that when you call on the egg, you call on this egg, you're getting the upgrades. It's upgrading in response to all the stuff that AI is doing. So it's not like we're sitting on our laurels getting out teched, because we're not. We're so not getting out teched. And yes, we have to keep cleaning our house. It's like, can you dust your house and say, okay, I'm good for the rest of my life? No, you have to keep dusting. You have to keep vacuuming. Your carpets still get dirty. You have to keep doing that. And that's how it is with our bodies and our electromagnetic fields. You have to constantly clean them, or they're going to get buggered up and they're going to bring you down.
So we're going to, okay, yes, awesome. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you there. Were you? Okay. So y'all, I'm trying to get Laura Lee on a little meet and greet, little workshop where she can share some of her, a tool and do a Q&A and just be in the room, get your questions answered. It's going to be just a little, like, by donation only. And we haven't set the date yet. So if you go to risemultiversity.org, get on our newsletter. We don't spam you, but when things come on, when Chris does a webinar, when I do a webinar, when Laura Lee is going to do this workshop, you'll be notified. And we're hoping to do it in January, in the first part of January, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So really get on that newsletter and come to that class and meet her. Have some interaction. Join the community. Get in a group where other people are getting their suicide program activated. And because all of us are so, when you're that hit, you get so isolated, you're terrified to tell anyone, you're terrified to walk out your door, and then there's the gang stalking programs, and they're hitting us with so many things, and we don't trust each other. And we don't even trust ourselves. The worst thing you can do is just stay isolated. You're just going to get pounded. So, hop on down, you come in for 25 cents if that's all you have. And we're going to have other things too, because we really believe that this is a team effort to some extent, and that we need community. We need a place of unconditional love. We need a place where the rules are of natural law, and where we can feel safe to open up and find out what's inside of us and do this cleanup job. So I really encourage you to not be despairing. And as much as you may feel absolute resistance, join the newsletter. Also, you can go to risemultiversity.org, click on Laura Lee as a mentor. You'll see all the rocks. You'll see her whole shop. You'll see her books. You'll see all of her services, everything she has to offer, and you can just click through and connect with her. So is there anything else right now, Laura Lee? We have all kind of videos we're going to be putting on the site soon, because we did some when I was in that beautiful Washington State with those gorgeous cedar trees. And we haven't even put them up yet. So we got a lot more Laura Lee coming your way. Yeah?
I think we're good for now. We can do another one of these in a week or so. And
yeah, we need to do more because I'm finding I haven't been out there for really almost 2 years, because I've been in intensive. I wasn't satisfied with the level of shadow work, and I've been doing research and adding all kinds of weird, now we are really cranking it. And so I'm going back out, and we're starting to do stuff, and we need to do that, Laura Lee, because people, really need to hear it. There's so much out there. There's so much disinfo. There's so much false light. There's so much good info. It's such a mishmash. When people are coming, they want to trust, but they're really having a hard time.
Right. And there's also a lot of new information that keeps coming out. That's why I haven't been putting things on my website, because it is coming in so fast and furious. I don't have the wherewithal.
I know. I left you 3-4 months ago, and this is the first conversation I've had with you, because you've been so deep into it. But I had to just give you that space because I knew you were doing what you had to do.
Yeah, it's pretty 24/7. WS 24/7. But yeah, so I just want to tell everybody there are things that you can do. Number one is unplug. Number two is say, I'm not buying this. That's got to be the first thing off your tongue. When you start feeling suicidal or like the pain is just too much, just go, you know what, maybe I'm being messed with too. And yeah, it was really horrible that my cat died, but that doesn't mean I need to die too. And kind of get the grieving process moving through you instead of embedding in you. And just get in touch with your Summa. That's going to be a tremendous help. And
what about Screw You Losers?
Yes. Should we do that today or should we do that for our next?
All right. Next time, we're going to give you the code to get rid of these guys. Okay. Yeah, you know.
That's kind of a story.
Yeah, we'll hang the. Okay. Okay. I love you, Laura Lee.
About it. You can still say it. Okay. Well, listen, you have an awesome day, everybody, and we'll